Do you struggle managing your employees? Perhaps you should use a systems approach. Kevin Weir, your Action Coach Business Coach, helping you achieve your business dreams. And this is something that I find so many business owners struggle with, is that they've never learned how to manage employees. So many business owners have starting off as a one-person shop, and then they hire somebody, and then they hire another person and another person, but they've never really learned how to be a manager. And so you see a lot of business owners with high employee turnovers, effectiveness of employees, and frustration from the business owner. And so what I want to do today is I want to walk through a systems approach on how you can be a better manager. You see, management isn't necessarily an art form. Management is all about a systems process that you can learn to implement to help you be a better manager. So let's walk through part of this. There's a lot of different elements in a systems approach to management, but I want to cover several of them today so you have a good idea of what it means to be a great manager. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you an opportunity to go through a 12-week management training program so you can learn to be a better manager. So let's get started. So the very first thing that you need to do in a systems approach with managing employees is start off with assessing your employees. Very hard to improve if you don't know what you have in front of you. So one of the things that you need to do is take each and every one of your direct report employees who report to you directly and create a 1 to 5 scale rating on different elements of their job. It can be their technical skills, it can be their attitude, it can be their culture fit, it can be their work ethic, or a variety of things that you need to have an honest evaluation and said, where are they? Obviously, in an ideal world, every employee would get a 5 out of 5 in everything. Well, guess what? We don't live in an ideal world. So now we have to basically look at, okay, let's start as that process and be honest with yourself. If you aren't honest with yourself, you're either going to give everybody 5s or everybody 1s or whatever, and a lot of this is going to be subjective. And you just have to be okay with that. But without starting some form of assessment, you're going to be guessing on what needs to be worked with employees. So now the second step in managing is institute daily lists. Now, what does this look like? One of the things that I find works out really good is that every employee at the end of their day writes out a list of things that they're going to get done the next day. Now, in this environment, this works easily. If it's a manufacturing or a field environment, maybe it's a little bit more difficult, but the principles are still the same. The employee lists the things that they're going to get done the next day and then submits those to you. So that way that creates a level of focus that employee knows that, hey, I need to get X, Y, and Z done. Too many times there's stuff that they need to stuff in their heads and doesn't get down into a system, and there's no way to follow up with that. So institute a daily list strategy. Now, the third thing is to institute what you call a Lions list. So every Monday morning, each one of your employees is going to submit what we call a Lion list. L stands for last week, I stands for issues, O stands for opportunities, and N stands for next week. So each employee that directly reports to you is going to talk about what they got accomplished last week, what are issues that they're facing, what are some opportunities that they see that can be instituted in their job or in the entire company, and then what's their game plan for the upcoming week. So you fill that out on Monday and they send it to you just as if they were to send you the daily list. Now the fourth thing we need to take a look at is doing the weekly meetings using a line format. So now every Monday you have a meeting with your direct reports. And so now, and a little caveat with that is that you should have maybe up to 8 people on your direct reports. If you have more than 8, you're going to struggle at managing people. Maybe you need to pare that down and create another management structure. Just you've got like 15 employees, you're trying to manage them all at once. That's not going to work. So you need to have different management levels that you create. But if you're saying you've got 8 direct reports, you're going to meet with them every week. And you're going to go through, okay, what got accomplished last week? We then take a look at some of the issues that need to be dealt with. What are great opportunities that we can look at? And then we coordinate the upcoming week to make sure that there's no conflict with that person. Hey, you need to coordinate with that person on this. Hey, you need to go ahead and talk with this person over here to make sure your stuff is straight. So a lot of these weekly meetings are all about facilitating communication and understanding of everybody's roles throughout the week. So that's one of the critical things that we need to do is hold these weekly meetings. Now the fifth thing on systematized management is doing what I call a Lion one-on-one meeting. So again, now we take a look at what they filled out on Monday, their last week, issues, opportunities next week, and now you're going to have a one-on-one meeting with them. You do this on a Thursday. Why? If our work environment goes from Monday through Friday, Thursday is a great day to assess, hey, how did we do? And do we need to get some things done before the week closes out on Friday? Because if you try to do it on Friday, it's already too late in the week, and that gets punted in the next week. So Thursday is an ideal day to do what we call the Lion one-on-one meetings. Your job is to go through that Monday list with them in more of a detail. Now, it's going to take a lot of coaching on your part. You're going to be working with that employee one-on-one, going, okay, how did we do? What is the issue that you're dealing with? What do we need to do to get past these issues? And you're going to have to do some coaching with them. Opportunities. This is a great chance for them to share with you ideas that they can see how things can be made better, whether it be a systems change or a process change or maybe even a culture adjustment. And then the next week is that last day of that week going, okay, what still needs to get done this week to finish off the list that you have? Do we need to make adjustments? Do we need to change priorities? Typically, a Lion meeting starts off at an hour long, but as you get used to doing these Lion meetings, you can get them down to 20 minutes. And so let's say you have 3 employees per hour, and see if you have 6 direct employees, you can do it in 2 hours, 20 minutes each. Now, that's an ideal world. It takes a while to get there. But the principle is you need to do these one-on-one meetings with each employee every week going through that Lion list. Now, the number 6 area that we need to look at in a systematized management approach is key performance indicators and goals. Now, one of the biggest things we have to understand in management is what gets measured gets managed. Also, what gets measured grows. And so what you need to do is have some key performance indicators and also what I also would call key activity indicators that are measured, because key activity indicators then results in the performance, which results in gives the overall results. And so what are those key numbers that you're measuring with that employee? Do they know what their the importance of those numbers are, and what's the outcomes that come from those numbers? Now, that goes along with setting goals. What are the goals that each and every employee has for themselves? It could be improving a KPI number or KAI number. It could be other goals that they have for themselves. And a good goal is very specific. It has to be measurable, achievable, results oriented, and then very much of a time frame involved in that. So key here is having those key performance indicators listed out, goals listed out, so that you and your employees know what those are. Now, the 7th area that we need to look at is doing 90-day planning. So one of the keys in a systematized management approach is that every 90 days, you meet with your employees as a group. It's a great team building time. And what we do is at the end of each quarter, you spend an entire day with your direct reports. We take a look at what got done, how did the last quarter go, what's our game plan to measure things, what's our next goals for next quarter in relation to the annual plan, and we put out a game plan as a team of what we want to get accomplished over the next 90 days. It's a great activity to get together, work as a team, both coming up with these goals and then publishing that game plan for the next 90 days. Now, there's a lot of other things that go along with management, such as annual reviews, and how to do better communication, systems development, training, recruiting. That's a whole nother video that can be done, but these are the key things that you really need to look at with systematizing your management approach. Start with assessment, institute daily lists, institute a Lion list, doing weekly meetings with your team, with your direct reports, one-on-one Lion meetings, key performance indicators and goals, and 90-day planning. If you can get that rolling, you've got a good chance of being a fantastic manager. Now, how can you learn how to do this systems process? Well, I have a 12-week management program that takes you through, in a very detailed process over a 12-week period, how to institute this systems process. If you are interested, I want you to click below and book a time for me to walk this through with you and see if this is a fit for you. Go out there, be the best manager you can be, make it a great day in your business.